Good morning, everybody. It's Kip Teesort with Chronicles of a Culture Changer. And one of the things that I want to work on today, because I've shared with you that we train four areas: Mind Street, Media, and Courtroom. And particularly courts. When I say courtroom now, we're actually talking about two courts, which is number one, the court of public opinion, and two, the actual courtroom that you might find yourself in if you ever had to use force on the job. Well, here's the thing. The most important deal about everything that we're trying to do here, which is why you see our motto of the saving yours while you save others, is because a lot of times what we don't understand are simple definitions and some things that are really important that we get when it comes to using force. So today what I really would like to do is talk about reasonable. And a definition of reasonable would be just, it's rational, it's usual or appropriate under the circumstances. So reasonable, just, rational, appropriate, usual under the circumstances, anything like that. So something that if presented to a judge or a jury or people like that, right or wrong is pretty much irrelevant, provided the fact that our use of force was considered reasonable. And so I'm going to add a link to the bottom of this clip, and in the thread itself for the Facebook post, and let you see some videos of providers and how they're acting. And again, right or wrong is irrelevant. What I'd like for you to do is sit back for just a minute and imagine if you were seated in a jury and you were having to watch those news clips, and you tell me whether or not you believe that their actions were considered reasonable within medicine. Because I will tell you that grabbing someone by the throat and slamming them into a stretcher just because they're intoxicated, or dogpiling and putting boots to somebody, or dogpiling a person to provide medical care. Again, how bad do they really need our care? And again, I'm not asking you to say whether or not they're right or wrong. My point is, if you were in that situation, would it be considered reasonable? So that's just the big thing there, is that for saving yours while you save others, a lot of times it's not about the physical skills that we think that we need to do the job, but there's a lot more critical thinking skills that go on to or into the physical skills portion, which would be reasonable. Folks, I'm going to tell you, reasonable. Make sure you understand that definition and make sure whatever your training is, because here's the deal. If a person has no training, they're going to respond how they think is appropriate, or what they had based upon their previous experience in life. So let's say, for instance, a paramedic is a former MMA fighter, a boxer, a wrestler, a kickboxer, a jiu-jitsu practitioner, a special forces member, a military martial arts combatives instructor. It doesn't matter. The point is if we don't train them for what's considered reasonable in medicine, what will happen is they were going to go back to their previous experience. And again, would a military martial arts combatives program technique be appropriate in the back of an ambulance against a 65-year-old dementia patient? Because that's why we have to train the way we do. Unfortunately, different than anybody else, is because a 40 or 50-year-old head injury person could grab us the same as a 30 or 40 or 50-year-old intoxicated or drugged individual. So unfortunately, we have to make a split-second decision on how do I respond to this. So with that, today's initial definition that we're going to work on right now for saving yours while you save others is reasonable. I got to have you working on that. There's plenty of research, and don't forget to check out some of the videos I want to put in this link right here and ask yourself, were they reasonable? Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.